Chapter 6, G.I. Joe Schmo. We are looking at pages 56 through 59 of this chapter, and then skipping to page 66, and we will look at 66 through 69. G.I. Joe Schmo. We're a platoon full of simple GIs. We're not airborne rangers or special forces or even infantry. Hell, we're not even Marines. We're Army Reservist engineers, and we have more invested in our lives outside than inside the military. I'm only one of these simple GIs, and I'm nothing special. I'm a copy of a copy of a copy. I'm that vague, illegible, pink sheet on the very bottom of carbon paper stacks. They will not make movies about me. There will be no video games revolving around my involvement in the war, about the various battles and changes of command. I will not be in them. My unit will not be mentioned. We are not going to be part of any significant turning point in the war. We're not going to bust down doors and search for weapons caches. We're construction. We're going to build crap. We're not going to hunt for insurgents. Our job is to stay away from the enemy. Our job is small, a minute part of the larger picture. And I'm not even sure what this larger picture means. I'm not sure why we invaded Iraq. I'm just a GI, nothing special, a kid doing my job, a veritable Joe Schmo of the masses of my generation. I am G.I. Joe Schmo. I am one soldier, and I stand in one squad, in one platoon, in one company during the battalion formation. A squad is about 12 soldiers. My squad, we're equipment operators. My platoon, we're equipment platoon. My company, we're headquarters company. The three other companies in the battalion, A Alpha, B Bravo, and C Charlie, are called line companies. As headquarters company, we run the show. In Iraq, we'll support the line companies. Plus, the commander tells us we'll have our own missions. EQ Platoon is 4 12-soldier teams full of G.I. Joe Schmoes, and we're in this together. Our wives and girlfriends are home. Our moms and dads and siblings left behind. All they have is one another. All we have is one another. And we're going to do whatever it takes to come home alive. On December 1st, 2004, the entire battalion packs into one giant plane. Our next stop is our refueling point in Germany. Okay, I'm ending on 59, and I'm now turning to page 66. Feeling quite guilty that we're not finishing every word of the entire book. Okay, I'm going to pick up the very, very last line of page 65. As soldiers, we push ourselves. We push one another. We're all in it together. If one quits, we all quit. So we keep one another from giving in to the sleep. The next part that's in italics is called Stream of Consciousness. These are Ryan's thoughts. He's working on equipment, working on nuts and bolts. But as he's working, all kinds of things are going through his mind, and as they go through his mind, he's written them down. So this is straight out of his mind, the way a very busy mind works when it's got a lot of stuff running through it. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and the M916 tractor trailer to which I'm fastening armor is lit by a giant working lamp, just like the ones parked at construction sites back home and parked at Ground Zero. And it's powered by a generator that is low on gas. I'll have to fill it up soon. I'm fastening a bolt and a nut. The 916's bumper number is H1307, and it still needs a box of MREs and a little oil for the trip. Miller said he'll take care of that tomorrow.
The bus is here outside E Hall. Coach Butekoffer is here outside E Hall. That's all track athletes.
Miller said he'll take care of that tomorrow, and he's a hard worker. Grew up on a dairy farm in Ohio, so he'll do it. The truck's okay on water, but its left brake light is cracked a little. I wrote that up 3 days ago after morning chow. Runny scrambled eggs like snot, but awesome French toast. The bolt turns, the nut tightens. 1307's missing an oil dipstick, which Sergeant Dodds, 4th Squad's leader, said was okay as long as you cover the oil check with duct tape. He knows a lot about trucks because he's a truck driver back home. He once shot a hooker in the face with a fire extinguisher. See, the way fire extinguishers work is they suck the oxygen from the air. And since fire needs oxygen to burn, by sucking the oxygen, you put out the fire. But a fire extinguisher in your face, the bolt tightens, sucks away the oxygen and makes you feel like drowning. And while this truck stop hooker gasps for air, Arthur Dodd slams his driver's side door shut and drives away because he's married, has been for 15 years, has 2 kids, the youngest of whom he nicknamed Pickle Man. I notice a long shiny hair in the dust cloud off to my left, and righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, I quickly place that hair on the head of the only female in EQ platoon, Specialist Alyssa Dudma. A pebble flies out from under her boot as she walks away from the group of welders, grinders, and me. The pebble's from the smoking area, and I wish such an attractive young woman wouldn't smoke. The thin armor gets closer to the door. I spot the oil stain on Specialist Josh Roman's left desert combat boot. I laughed hysterically yesterday when he spilled hydraulic oil on himself while he was filling one of the scoop loaders, and now he's sitting on the wheel well of the front tire as he bolts armor to the door. His bolt tightens, and he's laughing at a story being told by Sergeant Buckaloo, who stands behind me and who's being funny and witty because his expanded, sleep-deprived mind operates on a level that we're all addicted to, like chocolate-covered crack. And he's telling us about this time in Sunday school when one of the nuns farted. She kept teaching like nothing had happened, and Wilfred Buckaloo III, he held in his laugh forever before he burst out hysterically, and he was beaten across his hand with a ruler. Roman and I laugh hysterically because Buck's face and impression of himself trying to hold in a laugh is the funniest expression we've ever seen. And there's a maniacal quality in my laugh that I'm very proud of. The bolt tightens fully and the armor is on the door. Our shift is over. We'd love some sleep, and none of us is very hungry, but we decide to walk a half mile to the chow hall anyway. The thing that's great about Army camps overseas is they have 4 meals a day. Because so many soldiers are working through all hours of the night, there's a midnight chow. We fill the generator with gas first, and the 3 of us walk and talk and laugh and bond on a level I never thought possible with people I've known less than 2 months. We eat through our hour-long break and then continue working. And this is the life of a soldier in Kuwait. Soldiers doing what they have to do to enter Iraq, a country they don't really want to visit in the first place. Simple GIs doing their part in their generation's war. Our involvement probably won't mean anything when the war's all said and done. The war will probably come to the same conclusion no matter what we do. So we do what we're told. There's no point in fighting it. Just do the best we can. Me and this ragtag group of GIs called Equipment Platoon. The Army tells me to go to Fort Bragg, so I do it. The Army tells me to pack my shit and hop a plane to the throat of the Persian Gulf, so I do it. The Army tells me, an average teenage boy just doing what he can after witnessing the worst attack on American soil since Pearl Harbor, to armor my own 20-ton and then drive 4 boys and a platoon sergeant into a combat zone. So I do it. End of chapter 6.